What was your, I would say, your biggest challenge after you guys decided to start
Yeah,
Kubi?
yeah. Oh man, there's just so many challenges.
The biggest one.
So hard to pick one.
Couple of them.
A couple. Okay. Business challenge wise, it's two things. One is there are just so many pain points. You interview anyone and you'll find a lot of pain points. You interview a marketer, they'll tell you a lot of pain points, but how do you really decide which one is worth solving and which one you can build a successful and scalable business on? And also which one is the one that they're willing to pay for. So that's really hard. And it's not just the customer needs, it's also the competitive landscape. So there's likely already a competitor building something there. How do you build something that will eventually replace the incumbent?
Yeah.
And that have a way to sort of get the wedge into the market? Because you can't just you can't just say, hey, I want to build a better version of Salesforce, and that's going to take you 10 years. Then you'll never be able to go to market.
A lot of times people say, oh, why reinvent, something new when there's already existing? You just make it better.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, but then you have to make it better in a very MVP way. And that little thing has to be already valuable enough that people are willing to spend extra money.
Right.
So I think that was hard. And second business challenge is building on a proprietary platform is really, it comes with a lot of risks because WhatsApp can change anytime and your business might just get killed or, it's a lot of platform risks. And that's a business challenge. On the other side, I think for a personal challenge, as a founder, you kind of have to adult up, if that's a word.
Adult up.
Adult up, like earlier, like faster than your.
Grow up faster than.
Grow up faster than your team.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be just a good person and with a good heart and maybe bigger heart, and so you can. Because every day by 1 p.m. you will see 10 really big challenges and maybe 5 disappointments. And how do you adjust your mindset and emotion to still show up to the team? That's a good role model for the team.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Because you guys have only had the company for 4 years, and
4 years.
I can imagine how many challenges.
Yeah, especially in the early days.
I feel like for a company, it's just so important to be able to take care of your employees. A lot of companies, and maybe it's because it's a smaller one, you're able to do that. But having them, I think that's just an Asian thing, maybe. Having them as part of your family and taking care of them that way and creating the relationships that can help your company grow compared to what a lot of corporations do, which is really numbers, and people, which should be the most valuable thing that your company, one of the most valuable things that your company has, supporting them and having their backs and dealing with making the decisions that helps them keep their jobs is really important. So.
I think one thing what I found is a lot of times people talk about the business problems and they're trying to solve a conflict from a business perspective. They're trying to argue who's right or who's wrong. But what I found, I don't think it's just like in Kubi, but also at my past jobs, people disagree on something and that disagreement persists for an unreasonable amount of time. It's not because of the business challenge, it's because they don't like each other.
Yeah.
They just something they don't see eye to eye, and it's on the personal level. And so oftentimes you have to solve that from a personal perspective. You have to, but people tend to find their tools in the sort of business toolbox, and they try to apply new processes. They try to add more checkpoints, but then it's just really comes down to, oh, maybe John doesn't like Mary as much. Like Mary thinks that John always dislikes Mary or something like that. So I think then you shouldn't apply more processes. You should just have them go out for lunch and then the company pays for lunch and they have a good meal and they talk you through.
So what did you do? Because so you have these challenges. What are the things that you did to manage the many things that you had to deal with in terms of being able to present yourself in front of your clients and in front of your employees?
Yeah. Now that reminds me one point that I was kind of struggling in the beginning, which is so I realized I have to be an adult. I have to really grow up. And the other thing is, but as you, and it's a process because I realize it's a process because you also want to be an authentic self because people do detect bullshit. They detect lies.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in something, you keep saying it, it wouldn't make people believe in it, you.
Yeah.
You kind of have to really truly believe in it. So you have to be authentic too. You can't just say bullshit, right? So you have to be authentic self.
Yes.
So that's why it's a process, because then you have to really internalize these values and the words you say into something you believe in, and so you can say that out loud while being authentic. And also that doesn't apply to just value, but also your emotion too. So you have to really be in tune with how you feel, and so you can express that. And so, for example, like, people get hurt. Founders get hurt too. They got disappointed. They got hurt, and if you want to say, that's okay, that's okay, it's okay to screw up. That's true, but you also want to express that it does hurt people. It hurt people that work with you. It hurt people that that rely on you to deliver this thing, and that includes myself, also people around you that need you to deliver your work. But it's not okay to say like, oh, you suck, like, you fucked up, and so don't be criticizing and don't attack someone personally, but you still have to say how you feel and how you made other people feel, or how that person made other people feel.
Yeah, because there's a thing that the West always uses is constructive criticism, but for some reason in Asia, it's seen as much more harsher, even though constructive criticism is really supposed to be meant to help somebody grow and help somebody,
Yeah.
So,
Well, that has to come with a good intention. That has to come with a good heart.
Intention, yeah.
And sometimes managers don't always come from that good place. And so the report will feel it, and they wouldn't take that feedback nicely. Yeah.
Was there any point ever that you had, you just thought, why did I do this? Ever that you thought you might give up with any of this?
Yeah. A funny thing is, it always comes right after a milestone. So like, I think we were, like, for example, we were successful in expanding our business to a lot of corners in the world. And so our customers are spread across many countries. I think the total count would be somewhere between 50 to 80. Because we're self-service products, so people can come up to our website and sign up and subscribe directly. So, and the other thing is, I think very few software businesses built in Taiwan, powered by a team in Taiwan, but they are sold to the product is sold to all corners in the world, and that means we have to solve the challenge of finding such talents in Taiwan and training these talents and building the processes and all that. And it was during COVID time too, so there's a different type of challenges there. So sometimes after a milestone, we have to pursue the next milestone. So that's the business of venture-backed company. And so you kind of have to, you have to continue climbing up a steeper hill, and there's kind of no end to it.
Yeah.
And so that's really mentally challenging.
Okay, so you've talked about your challenges. So a couple of big successes that you're really proud of with the company.
With the company, I think we're able to, well, maybe at at the macro level, it's like a meta success, which is we have overcome so many challenges. That itself is a feat. And so we have, for example, we have kind of rebuilt the team a few times, just because the business challenges. But every time, I think we rebuilt a stronger team. So I'm really proud of that, and it's because of the people who's been around for a long time, and they show up and they show up to new people, show them what Kubi is. So that's one. And second, I think at the end, we're a team that is super aligned on value and how we work. And so in the office, there's a very good collaborative, well-meaning sort of environment.
Yeah.
And people, it's a spider web. It's not a hierarchy. But there's still a very efficient decision-making process because we're not democracy, honestly. So I like that. And I think that takes a lot of trust.
Spiderweb. Yeah,
Spider
that's
web.
interesting.
And
yeah.
I say that because it's a net.
Yeah.
I should say it's a net. So people.
You trap them there. No, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
No,
wrong
okay.
analogy. I forgot spider web has that connotation.
No, but yeah. What is your meaning for the web?
So it just means like you don't have to go through levels to talk to the people you want to talk to.
Yeah.
You can just go to that person, and
Yeah.
so it's like a net.
Everybody's on it.
How people work is a net.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody's on an equal level, more like a Western type of style where there's not so much of the hierarchy.
Yeah, you don't have to traverse the reporting line chain too.
Yeah. So you have everybody that's on board and all on the same page.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah.